All right, there we go. Welcome everybody. Thank you for joining us. Yeah, we went ahead, built a video and thought, hey, let's kick this thing off right. So we got a video, and that's how we started tonight's show. So welcome everybody. I'm Sean from Fiskerati. We have our co-host Jim from OSR Garage. You can find him on YouTube. If you search OSR Garage, you'll find him there. You can find us just by going to Fiskerati or typing that in on YouTube as well. So welcome everybody. Thank you. We got a kind of a big agenda tonight, Jim. Got a lot of stuff.
Yeah, sounds like it.
Yeah, so we're going to go through a handful of things tonight. I'm going to start off by talking about our road to production. So it's going to be pretty brief, but our road to production, that's going to be our first one. The next thing we're going to actually be talking about tonight is Henrik Fisker's birthday. So that's the other fun little tidbit. And then we actually are going to talk about Morgan Stanley analyst that Henrik Fisker called out today. Then we're going to jump into their Magna visit, the Fisker team's Magna visit, and look at some photos and videos, talk about them, and maybe we'll all learn something, including myself, as I have some questions for the audience. And then we're going to talk about the updated investor presentation and a couple things that are worth noting in there. Today was a super packed day of writing articles. So we ended up writing one about a new frequently asked questions that's on the Fisker site. So we're going to talk about that. In fact, we're going to actually go through some of the most important FAQs that they published. So that's going to be kind of fun. And then we're going to talk about something that just happened after hours today. We're going to talk about Fisker's ESG report. So there's, what is that? 7 things, Jim. We got a big show tonight. What are you most excited about tonight, Jim?
Henrik's birthday.
Henrik's birthday. Yes. I believe he turns 59 years old today. 59. I thought he was actually a little younger, but he's 59 years old. So that is kind of exciting. So we're going to talk about that, what his plans are for today. Maybe he's watching us. I think he's in Europe right now, and he visiting some friends. And maybe they're streaming our show tonight because they want to learn all about what we're going to talk about. What do you think? Is that a possibility?
It would be great if they were.
That would be funny. So, all right, let's get started. So I'm going to share my screen. We're going to take a look at a few things. We're going to start off with our road to Fisker production, the start of Fisker production. As of right now, this very minute, 98 days, 5 hours, 53 minutes, and 12, 11, 10, 9, 8. You get the idea. We're 98 days till Fisker Ocean production starts in Graz, Austria, and we're pretty excited. We pre-ordered the Fisker Ocean 1. It was it'll be our second electric vehicle. Fisker will be building those on their own hull that has custom fabricated, specialty made equipment that we learned about this week. So we'll get into that in just a bit. But we're 98 days away from the first Fisker Ocean rolling off the assembly line. So that's pretty exciting. And I think, Jim, we talked a couple weeks ago that we noticed in Fisker's messages and their posts and everything, they've kind of transitioned. They kind of go back and forth between November 17th and November.
Yeah.
Is it entirely possible that they might actually start production a couple days ahead? Surprise everybody? Is that a possibility?
Well, like we had discussed before, I believe that they'll actually start producing them or actually start building them before that date, but they'll have a date that they'll have probably some big extravaganza of the first one that rolls off the assembly line. And that they're probably going to plan that for that November 17th date. would be my guess. But that would mean that they would probably have to start earlier that week, start running them through.
Makes sense. Yeah, they did say that they wanted to deliver some at the end of November, and it could very well be that they deliver them near the factory in Austria, because it's going to take way too long probably to have them delivered here if they were to start production on that November 17th date. So it might take 2 weeks, 3 weeks, who knows, but it's those test vehicles that were performing the ADAS testing currently over in Michigan, those took 3 weeks from the first announcement to, hey, they've arrived. So they are definitely coming by ship. The question is which port are they going to? And it probably depends on the delivery destination. Now, if people on the East Coast are getting the Fisker Ocean, which we know they are, then they're going to pick a port somewhere over that way. Whereas here in Southern California, there's very high probability that the Fisker Ocean vehicles will be rolling into the Long Beach port. And that's actually a massive port. If you've never seen it, Jim, it's actually, we did a cruise out of there about 2 or 3 months ago. And you have one side that's just nothing but cargo. And then you have a whole nother side, which is nothing but passenger ships, boats, things like that. Pretty impressive.
Sounds pretty cool.
So we're going to end up going up there, and we're going to try to get some footage of them getting the Fisker Oceans off of the actual freight ships. So that'll be kind of fun. Long Beach from us is about an hour and a half, hour and 45 minutes. So it will be well worth the visit when we know they're going to be arriving. So I'm sure Fisker will announce them, hey, they're on the ship. And then we'll just try to figure out what ship they're on, if that's possible. But usually you can track ships as long as you know which ship it is. So that'll be kind of a fun exercise that we will definitely write about. So let's continue on. So we got something else kind of fun and exciting today. If anybody was following along, now today was a busy day. We published 5 articles, and there was some interesting stuff in each of them, but it was quite exhausting. I don't know if you know, Jim, our website went down yesterday. Basically everything went down. It was down for 11 hours. So it kind of backlogged us.
Wow.
Yeah, it was quite awful. I wanted to write stuff. I wanted to spend time with the family. Our internet also at our house went down. So it was just a nightmare of a day yesterday with technology. But it got back online in the early afternoon, and we were a writing machine over here. And then today got a bunch of other stuff I had to write. So I got it out there. That's done. So before I go on, let's do some shout outs to people on the channel here. Who do we have? We have Rosanna on there. Yeah.
Always
thank you
here
for joining. She's from Wilmington, North Carolina. We have Victor from Cincinnati. And we have, let's see, anyone else say where they're from. Tonight we have 65 people joining us so far. We'll probably get a few others. We have Omar from DC. We have Brave Fit Strong with Carla over in Springfield, Missouri. We have North Carolina. I'm going to butcher your city's name, John, if I pronounce it, but I'm going to go with Fuquay Varina, North Carolina, maybe. Rudy from New York City. What else do you see in there, Jim? You see other ones?
I think you've covered about all. Victor in Cincinnati, did you get that one?
I think I got that one.
Yeah.
So yeah, you know what I didn't even do?
Rick wants to know what OSR stands for.
Ooh, that's a secret, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
It's a secret. You gotta follow Jim's. You gotta follow Jim's channel to find out what OSR stands for.
It stands for something, but I haven't decided if I'm going to change the meaning of it or not. So
there you go.
Yeah, I left it open. So later on, if my channel develops in a way, I can use those letters to, create a phrase or something like that. So just kind of leaving it there and not going to make too big of a deal of it.
So he'll share at another time. Let's see here. So welcome new people. Well, we're kind of already into this by 10 minutes. So welcome new people who've joined us. I'm Sean from Fiskerati. That's Jim from OSR Garage. Every Wednesday we try to do a live stream and talk about what's going on in the world of Fisker. Every now and again, Jim will throw in some of the other cars that he covers. Like he did a Ford Lightning video yesterday, I believe. So maybe we'll talk about that as we kind of keep rolling. But we got a lot of updates on Fisker. There's a couple things that I wanted to share with everybody. So I just published a video right before I had dinner with my family upstairs, and it was a video about the Fisker membership program, and people are probably going to wonder, what the heck is a Fisker membership program? But if you've been following these videos for a while, or these streams, and me in the forums, I've said, time and time again, I'm not going to advertise on the Fiskerati site. I don't want to have ads on the site whatsoever. I think it's a really bad experience, and I want to try to create the best customer experience as possible. So I've come up with the Fiskerati membership program to help support Fiskerati and the the YouTube channel, the website, the servers, the streaming software, the list goes on and on, the forums, the iOS app, the Android app. I could talk about it all the time, but I talked about it in a video, which I posted earlier. So if you haven't seen that, go ahead and watch that after today. I'll pop a link at some point if I can into the chat. But that is a way for you to show your support. And if you do, you get access to all sorts of perks, exclusive content. You get the ability to guest host with Jim and myself on these shows. You also get the ability to publish guest articles on Fiskerati, in addition to live streams that will be exclusive for members. And there's going to be lots of exclusive content, including a forum that's exclusive on the Fiskerati forums. It's a members only forum. So as there's a lot of people chatting, you can kind of hunker down and just start communicating directly with other members. And I'm using YouTube as the platform to manage the memberships. So instead of me using some other third party, we're already on here, we're already talking. And the cool thing about it is if you end up subscribing or joining that membership program, you end up getting cool emojis and a little badge next to your name that show you're a sponsor. So I'll show you some of those emojis as we go here today. There's like a cool thumbs up. They're all special, unique emojis and badges that I had custom made. So there's like a cool thumbs up that has some cool smiley eyes on it. There's like a cowbell. So if Jim and I are falling asleep here, you can show the cowbell emoji and it'll hopefully wake us up. But there's a lot of cool ones. So we'll go through that later. But anyhow, I just wanted to share with everybody that particular program. Now let's get back to the show, Jim. How does that sound?
Well, I'm going to add one little thing to this.
Let's do it.
Also, if you guys didn't know, you can do super thanks, and that helps contribute to the channels. You've got super thanks. You've got the super chat. If you do a super chat, your question will pop up to us first, and we will answer that first because you are, donating to the channel to help things, and so we're going to answer your question right away. And there's also some super stickers and things like that you guys can do to kind of help us out on our live streams if you feel that way and want to help us out. So
hey, thanks for mentioning that, Jim. So we got a couple more shout outs before we talk about Henrik's birthday. We have Cole in Florida, Rick in Florida as well, Wei Lun Ta in Florida. Geez, 3 people from Florida in a row there. Nikki is on from your channel, Jim. She's from Philadelphia. We have Roy from Redondo Beach, and I've seen you in the Fiskerati forums, Roy. So thanks for tuning in tonight. We have Rosanna as well, we mentioned, from North Carolina. Thomas from Decatur, Illinois, and I just butchered that one probably. Lancaster, Massachusetts. Wow. Kevin.
Wait a minute, go back. What did you say about Illinois?
Decatur, Illinois.
Decatur.
Okay, there we go. Decatur. All right. So we got Decatur, Illinois, and then we have a bunch of people saying hi from Michigan, a couple of other places. Houston, Kevin, hello. So yeah, we got people from all over, from California to the East Coast. Hawthorne. Okay, so we got a photo of Henrik Fisker. He posted this earlier today. You guys have probably seen it, but in case you haven't, it's actually kind of interesting and significant to some extent. So Henrik, he says, he celebrated my birthday dinner with Bertrand Cost, and I probably butchered his name too. It's probably Coast, but Bertrand Cost, and he's been a friend for many years, a believer and early investor in Fisker Inc., and a future Ocean One owner. So if we have other Ocean One owners, potential owners, future owners, whatever it may be, this is one of the people who are going to be getting the Fisker Ocean One. And he actually is the grandson of Mr. and Mrs. Schlumberger, which is a oil services company. Henrik says that they invented the oil drill, now an energy company. So they actually are an oil services company, stock symbol SLB. I followed it for quite some time, and it's had quite a roller coaster over the years. I think I've been following it for like 15 years. It's in my oil stocks, and it's actually quite significant how this person's related to the people who built Schlumberger, and he is an investor in an electric vehicle company. And he is going to be driving an electric vehicle. Who knows? He may already drive one, but he's going to be driving a Fisker Ocean One. So I thought that was pretty cool. We wished Henrik a happy birthday, as probably 100 and something other people did as well. So we know that he's in Europe because right up here at the top, it actually says Europe. So he's in Europe, and like I said, Jim, maybe he's following along. Maybe he can't sleep right now, and he's on this channel, and maybe we're going to see him pop up into the comments here in a second and be like, here's the super sticker for you, Jim. Thanks for all you do. So that's what would be super awesome to see, but that's probably not going to happen. So he's 59 today. Earlier in the day, we saw photos of him wearing his uniform, if you will. He always wears, his jeans and his sustainable shoes with his black sustainable Fisker, Fisker streetwear, if you will. It's that black, long sleeve, I was going to say like turtleneck, but it's not a turtleneck. It's not like a Steve Jobs turtleneck, but it's like his own, his own style. And he's always wearing that. And we see him wearing this one too. We saw him wearing this shirt over at the Los Angeles Auto Show. So I look at so many photos. Sometimes they stick in my head. That's why I know that. Like Fisker, I wear the same outfit practically all the time too. You see me in white shirts. It makes choosing stuff super easy in the morning. I just go choose the white shirts and the running shorts, and boom, I'm done. How about you, Jim? You have your own attire you pick, or you mix it up every day?
I kind of mix it up every day because I go to work and I'm in sometimes a dusty, dirty area, so kind of dirty, kind of dusty. So I change my clothes every day, take a shower every day.
Oh, every day after work, you got your routine. That's nice.
Yep.
So let's check this one out now. So we go from birthday. So earlier in the day, Henrik posted this right here, and we're going to talk through this. This is actually interesting. So earlier middle of last week, maybe everybody here that's on this call, they streamed through earnings, maybe the earnings call. We streamed it right here, right? We all, I don't know, there was some 300 people or whatever. Maybe it was like 1,200, I think, by the end of the day, came onto the channel and listened to the Fisker earnings call. It was actually kind of fun to see everybody chatting. I think there was like 775 comments throughout that. And we got to hear Fisker talk all about their earnings, that they ended up saying that they met their expectations, but they actually beat earnings. They ended up beating by, I want to say, by 3 or 4 cents. So they didn't spend as much money as they initially thought, but they ended up providing us a lot of updates. And the big one from last week on the earnings call, the Q2 2020 earnings call, was actually that the Fisker Ocean One was completely sold out. That kind of just, took all the oxygen out of the room. And it made everybody kind of have a sigh of relief who was an investor in the company. And I am an investor in Fisker. So I was actually quite happy to hear that it wasn't dragged out, the pre-order invites and stuff, through the month of August. So that was exciting news. One of the analysts over at the Q&A time was no one other than the industry veteran auto analyst, Adam Jonas. And I don't know if you remember listening to that Jim or not, but he came on close to the end of the earnings call, and he asked a few questions about being able to test drive, like when are journalists going to be able to test drive, and the Fisker Ocean as an analyst, when's the press going to be able to do it? I believe that was his question. He had one other one as well, and he said thanks, and then you didn't hear anything else from him. Well, the next day on Thursday, which would be Thursday of last week, so almost a week ago today, he actually posted a research report to Morgan Stanley clients. And in the actual research report, he ended up talking about how he believes Fisker was going to actually have to raise additional capital for Fisker Ocean production, to ramp production of the Fisker Ocean. And Fisker clearly said on the earnings call that they weren't going to actually have to access capital until 2023. But Adam Jonas, for some reason, believes that it's going to be this year, with Q4 of 2022. So he ended up doing all of his models based on that information. And as a result, he ended up downgrading Fisker shares. He actually lowered the price target, Jim, of Fisker shares from $15 a share to $10 a share. And the funny thing, 2 weeks earlier, maybe even 10 days before this last research report on Thursday of last week, so I don't know where that would put us, maybe say July 20th, it's somewhere in that ballpark, he issued a report then and actually had Fisker's stock. He ended up downgrading it from, I want to say, $20 a share to $15 a share. And then Thursday of last week, he downgrades it again, citing a need for additional capital in Q4 of 2022. So why do we have this picture on the screen? Henrik Fisker at the crack of dawn, he ended up posting a message to Mr. Adam Jonas, Morgan Stanley. He says, when are you going to correct your team's recent research report? He said, he doesn't say with modeling error and assumptions about Fisker. So there's a lot of assumptions and modeling that is totally incorrect, not provided based on the information that Fisker ended up giving him, as well as other analysts that are on the call that kept the same models that they've used previously. So Henrik called them out. We ended up saying, hey, you noticed, you just noticed, huh? We called them out for this over the weekend. And I didn't take a screenshot of it, but Henrik Fisker replied to us and said, oh no, we knew about it. And I wrote back and said, hey, that's great, or thanks for notifying him, or something like that. But I think that's actually quite cool that Fisker is calling them out, saying, hey, you're using incorrect information, and maybe we'll see a correction. That doesn't mean we're going to see upgrade or a change in share price, but at least it'll give Morgan Stanley customers or clients the correct information, because everybody wants the best information in order to make their investment decisions. So anyhow, do you have any thoughts on that, Jim? What do you think of that? Have you seen that before?
No, I actually just saw this today, and I was pleasantly surprised to see that he answered you. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, that was kind of interesting.
Yeah, why people do things? It's like sometimes they write stuff just to make a story out of something. It's kind of like what we do as YouTubers. We could possibly make a video out of that we think people will want to see or want to watch. And I feel that the media and people like that do the same thing, even if it's misinformation or information. If it molds it into a way that entices people to want to watch and want to see it, they're going to put it out there. So it's sad that it happens that way, but it does.
Got it. Yeah. So that was kind of the interesting thing that I woke up to. So I forgot what time I saw that, but I responded. I took the screenshot. It says 5 hours ago. But anyhow, so that is what we saw from Henrik today. Now, earlier in the week, Fisker ended up, I think it was it Monday or Tuesday? They ended up going to Magna. They ended up going, Henrik mentioned last week, hey, we're hopping on a plane. We're heading over to Magna to go start talking to see the production, right? Go look at the Fisker Oceans and make sure, prototypes are good, but also more importantly, to start talking with Magna about prepping their manufacturing hall or area for production on November 17th. So we ended up getting all sorts of photos and videos. So I'm going to throw up one of them that I thought was actually interesting, and it's interesting for two reasons. It's a video here. Let's go ahead and throw it up, and then so that's the video. We'll roll it one more time. We'll mute the sound. You look at it. So basically, what you see here is you see what Henrik says was a high voltage battery setter. So I don't know much about this. I looked it up really briefly, and basically what it does is battery goes onto the bottom of it, and the Fisker Ocean is hanging up above. It's on some sort of track, and the high voltage battery setter, as you see there, it kind of lifts it up kind of like a car lift, puts it in place, and then you can see, and it's kind of actually hard to see, but there's actually little, I don't know what they're called, but little, not drill, maybe a drill, something that actually screws the bolts on. Henrik said there's 26 bolts that actually secure that battery to the rear of the Fisker Ocean. Then I'm guessing at some point, like the Tesla Model 3, there'll be some sheet of plastic or some sort of protection that goes below that. So maybe you have the battery that gets set, you got some sort of sheet of plastic or some sort of protection, which might already be adhered or fastened to the battery. And then it just, it screws in 26 bolts. How'd you like that noise, Jim? That's my drill.
Good.
I don't know what it's called, a drill, but it's like changing wheels on the Daytona 500 track. I don't know, what are those things called? It's like gets the lug nuts on and off.
I do. Well, that's basically just a socket, more or less, a socket ratchet. Power socket.
There you go.
Power wrench, whatever you want to call it.
So that's how I believe. If you look close to the photo, so there's something actually more significant about this photo. You might not have spotted, Jim. I'm going to give you a minute to spot it. If anybody knows what else is interesting in this photo, post it in the chat. A pneumatic ratchet. There you go. Thank you, Cole. That's what it's called, a pneumatic ratchet. Awesome. So thank you very much. Does anyone else know what's significant about this? It's the first time that we've seen a Fisker Ocean painted in seagrass.
I was wondering what the color was. I couldn't tell.
Yeah, at first when I saw this photo, or in video, first it came as a photo, then the video thereafter. Now, I saw it and I was like, I've never seen that color before. Yeah. And I thought, is this even a Fisker Ocean? And then I had to look at it and go, no, that's a Fisker Ocean. And then I had to look at the color chart and I'm like, 2023 colors. Okay, I'm not focused on 2023 colors right now. I'm focused on 2022 earth tone colors. Well, right. This is seagrass and it actually looks quite awesome. I don't know if I can zoom in anymore, but that's actually a pretty cool color. And we posted a photo on our site that's going to be a lot clearer than this video. But does anybody who hasn't pre-ordered a Fisker Ocean 1 who's getting an Extreme, Ultra, or Sport that's watching along, is anybody going for seagrass? I haven't seen anybody mention seagrass yet. So now that we see a photo and a video, maybe people are actually going to go for seagrass. So let us know in the comments if that's interesting to you. And we got something else as well. We ended up getting a video. This came in some Instagram stories, but it also came on YouTube. It's kind of a version that we've seen before, but there was some validation testing that actually took place over at Magna. There it is. Like that? Look at that, Jim. It's three of us. We got it in thirds right now. That's fun, isn't it?
I read something this morning, and now seeing these pictures here of this video here, I thought I had read that he said something about 50 Fisker Ocean cars.
Yeah, 55 prototypes
55,
have been built.
Yeah,
that's right. 55 prototypes.
I mean, we only knew of the 3 or so that came over here, and the few that we had seen pictures of driving around, or they had taken pictures of for promotional type of thing.
But
I didn't realize
they said
they
were going to build. They said they were going to build many, many, many. I believe they actually said they were going to build 55. In fact, we mentioned that we got this wrong. We thought there was like 75 that were produced, but maybe what we were told and we misinterpreted was there will be 75 by the time production starts. Nevertheless, we owned up to that error. But for all the stuff that we've gotten right, hopefully people can cut some slack to the number of prototypes that have been built. So that is actually quite cool, seeing the prototypes getting more validation testing. And
Can I get one of those at a discount?
Yeah, wouldn't that be something? Now, I wonder if these are actually going to be put over at some of the, I wonder if they're going to be brought to some of those pop-up events and things like that. So they're going to have a bunch of them here. Maybe they'll just remain test vehicles. Who knows? But it would be cool if they start putting these around as pop-up events and, at pop-up events, pop-up locations for people to come and look at the interior. But something tells me these still don't have the interior that we want. I think Henrik mentioned last week or the week before that the interior, the vehicles, the test vehicles that have been delivered to Los Angeles still don't have the proper interior in them, and they should get the right interior in October. So it's unlikely that we see these with at pop-up locations, but it would certainly be nice to see them and even test drive them. But we know that's not happening until the first week of November. Learn that on the earnings call.
So over in the chat, Thomas Mixon said that Magna International had a YouTube video on the 80S radar that will be in the Fisker Ocean. He said it was pretty interesting. So
interesting. Was that on out of spec, or was that on something else? I think I've seen one something like that over there. But maybe Magna themselves did it. That'd be pretty cool. Yeah,
they may. I haven't looked to see if they have a channel. I hadn't thought about looking at that.
They do. They do have a channel, I believe. I think I have seen it.
Okay. There's one thing that I remember in previous live streams that we had done. People were always asking about the range estimate that they keep saying, the 350 miles or 340 miles, 250 or whatever. And they're asking, is that Fisker or is that EPA? Well, actually, it's Magna. Out of spec. Last time he was over there, he actually went to their facility, and it was what he was doing there was doing like some of the techie stuff, but he couldn't actually turn his camera in any direction. He said there were so many different cars and stuff that were going on that he could not show. And one of the things he did was he actually showed their EPA rated system, and they have a whole indoor thing set up, and it's got a dyno and all that stuff. And then they actually just sit in there, and somebody sits inside the car and just puts the pedal down and just goes and follows a routine to try to balance these out and get it as close as possible. And they can do EPA, they can do the WLTP, yeah. And I think they can even do the China, whatever that one's called. But that's all done at the facility. And those are the numbers that we're seeing are the numbers that Magna is getting in their testing. So
that's good info, Jim. Thanks for sharing.
Yeah.
So, okay, cool. Looks like some people already saw the video and they liked the video. Impressive video. I saw that video. Very interesting. Neat.
Cool.
So we'll have to check that one out. If somebody has a link to it, post it there. Maybe we can watch a snippet right now. Now, we have some other interesting stuff that came out of the Magna factory, Jim. You probably saw this one. Some people actually, I published this one, I don't know, the crack of dawn this morning. And some people were like, who cares about that? Why don't you publish some real news? And I was like, hey, thanks. Thanks for your comment. I guess you didn't read the rest of the article. So here we go. Here's the next thing. So here is a Fisker Ocean. It's the first time I've seen a white Fisker Ocean at Magna in a prototype. So maybe other people have. I haven't. I ordered the great white Keller, the paint Keller. The interesting thing about this particular white it looks matte. And this was actually found in the investor presentation, which was posted yesterday. So I saw it actually, maybe it was posted the day before. It's dated August 2022. I think I might have spotted it on Monday night, but it was too late to write an article. But I had a look at it yesterday, recorded a video. There's 11 pages in that new 34-page document that actually had changes to them. Some of them not very significant, like this right here. This is a photo that was on one of the slides, and I was like, wow, this is a new photo. In fact, there's like 5 new photos that we haven't seen before in that investor presentation. But this was the first one that actually hasn't been shared, that it was in the investor presentation. The other ones have been shared, like Henrik's test vehicle up, I'm guessing, by his house in the Hollywood Hills, in West Hollywood, somewhere over there, wherever the heck he is, he's in Hollywood. But that was all over the investor presentation. For those that haven't seen the latest investor presentation, you go to Fiskerati and hit the search button, type in investor presentation, you can look at it. It's probably on the homepage still. But does anybody know what this color is? So it's like, did anyone else notice like there's no gloss on it? Or is it the lighting? I can't tell. I was hoping there would be some paint experts.
I'm guessing it's the lighting.
Okay.
They're at a straight angle, so they're not getting any light reflection off of it. It would be my guess.
Gotcha. Yeah, I thought it looked beautiful. I thought it was actually quite nice. It looks so clean. And yeah. I was like, wow, that was a good choice. I ordered the Great White. That looks like a good choice. I'm happy to see that. I was actually more happy to see this than that seagrass greenish color, because I know I won't be ordering that. But this color looks really, really nice. So there you have it. That was something else that we saw new in the investor presentation. Additionally, in the investor presentation, so we switched gears, Jim. Now we're talking investor presentation.
Right.
If people aren't following along here. So I would love a matte pearl white. Yeah, that would be nice, Rick. Haven't seen that one. But in the investor presentation, there was something called the Fisker Lounge. You heard about that?
No.
Anyone know about the Fisker Lounge? Bueller? Anybody? So there you go. There's your Fisker Lounge right there. That is going to be the new experience center, is going to be called the Fisker Lounge. What? That's what I read it and I was like, what? The Fisker Lounge? So my first thought was coffee and donuts, which is probably wrong. My brother corrected me today and said, maybe pastries, but then martinis, like a lounge, like you're at a club, there's a lounge, you're having drinks, you're chatting, you're hanging out. Do they want people to hang out at the Fisker Experience Center or the Fisker Lounge? I didn't get that. I'm puzzled still. Why do they call it a Fisker Lounge? I liked Fisker Brand Experience Center better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if it's just a...
Cheers.
Right. Maybe they're just kind of giving you like a full service thing, and you come in there, you check out the car, you look at, the different things, and maybe they do have, a coffee there, so you can stand there and you can have some coffee and talk about the car and stuff like that,
I thought maybe it'll be like those Capital One, I don't know, you guys have probably all seen those commercials. It's like the Capital One coffee shop / bank. Like maybe that's what Fisker's going for. It's going to be like a lounge where not only you can get, you can see the Fisker Ocean, you can test drive the Fisker Ocean, you can talk to Fisker Ocean experts, the rag givers, if that's what they're going to call them in person. But you're going to get all that stuff. Plus, maybe they're going to serve, drinks. It could be coffee. It might be martinis. It could be margaritas. Who knows? We're in Southern California. At least that one that's on the screen there. And then maybe they'll offer appetizers. Who knows? Maybe there'll be appetizers or something like that.
Maybe like, here, we'll feed you and give you something to drink while we take your money.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm puzzled on that one, but I thought, hey, that's kind of neat. So that was the second biggest thing I would say that I saw in the investor presentation. There were a couple other ones, probably not worthy of mentioning, but those were kind of the two big things, that photo and the rebranding, which it's not even really a rebrand because they haven't even launched anything yet. So it's just kind of like the brand name that they're calling it, the Fisker Lounge. About that Fisker Lounge, they actually said the location, I'll put it back up on the screen, I don't know why I took it off, but they're actually saying that that particular location is going to be 2 stories or 2 floors. So I find that interesting too. So 2 floors, I would imagine there's not going to be any vehicles on the 2nd floor, but maybe they'll build a ramp to go to the 2nd floor. That would be interesting.
Or maybe Fiskerati will be located there.
Oh, that's right. That'll become our new headquarters, right? This low budget office over here. I do have a nice whiteboard, and it's actually a glass whiteboard. That's actually quite fun. The family uses that to draw photos on or pictures on all the time. That's a good one.
So, just a little bit ago, it seemed like they were talking about a rear window wiper.
And, yes. Let's throw that back up. So we had this right here, and if you look, let me zoom in. Ooh, that's a good zoom. So if you look here, it looks almost like, so I remember Henrik Fisker saying that there was like a magic wiper. I don't know if anybody remembers that term, but there was something called a magic wiper. I don't know where that was, where he said that, but magic wiper. So if you look at the rear rubber, that rubber bit right there, I don't know if anyone can see, but there's like this rubber bit. Maybe when the window rolls down, you end up getting a nice, clean, shiny, squeegeed window. Who knows where the water is going to spray, if there is any water to clean it. Maybe it'll be on the back of that camera that's up there, or whatever that is, the backup parking camera, or some sort of something. I have no clue what that is. But there's definitely something up there. That's probably
the rear view camera.
Yeah, the digital rear view camera. Yeah. So maybe on the back side of that, closest to the window, there might be a way to shoot some water to spread water everywhere, to have the thing, the wiper, wiper, clean it.
Maybe the squeegee comes up and back down.
That would be interesting. That seems pretty complex, but interesting. Yeah, does anyone remember that name that's on the chat? The magic wiper, or whatever I called it just a minute ago. I forgot where that was. Never heard of the magic wiper.
I've seen a couple other vehicles recently that it didn't look like they had a rear wiper, but it was actually mounted up underneath the roof spoiler. And so then it would just swing down and go back up. And so it wasn't down low where you could see it, and it was up out of the way, and it didn't bother your vision, but it would swing down and then go back up. So maybe it's tucked up underneath there somewhere.
All right. So that was kind of interesting. So let's switch gears here. So there's one thing that I mentioned that I thought was actually kind of interesting. So I'm going to actually, I don't know if I can do it on here. Oh, I have to do it on YouTube. Let me go to YouTube real quick. Let me go pull up our video. I'm going to actually run a poll. And on the poll, I want to find out how many people have pre-ordered the Fisker Ocean One versus an Extreme, Ultra, or Sport. So that'll kind of help us on this next go here, where we're going to talk about some of the most frequently asked questions around ordering. Which did you pre-order? And there's going to be Ocean One. We're going to have Ocean Extreme, Ultra, Sport. And the Ultra, Extreme, and Sport, or Extreme, Ultra, and Sport, I don't see too many people from Europe on this live stream. So we're primarily talking to people in the US who are probably well aware that they can pre-order the Fisker Ocean in order to try to possibly get, keyword possibly get, that EV tax credit, which I don't even know the latest on that. I think the House is going to do a vote later this week, but I'm not sure. So let's go ahead and take this poll here. And see what people say. Oop, okay, there you go. There is the poll. So go ahead and take that poll. I'll have to pop back over to the YouTube to check out the results. But go ahead and take that poll, and let's see what most people have pre-ordered. Oh, we got 18 votes already. That was quick. 72% of the people. Well, let's just wait. We'll give it a minute. We don't want to.
Yeah.
I don't want to. It's going to go. We'll give it a couple minutes. We'll talk about some other stuff, and then we'll jump into the cool.
I'm still on this. I'm still on this wiper thing. So, actually, looking at the back of this, it looks like that window is pretty straight up and down. It's not really angled. So
Let me zoom in again for you.
If it is mostly, if it's mostly straight up and down, you're not going to have too much problem with water and rain and stuff getting on that. It's more your angled ones that the water just seems to kind of want to sit and lay on top of it, and dirt flings up on it and lays on it. But with the straight ones, it probably won't need one.
Gotcha. Yeah, I've never had a vehicle, a car, a truck, a sedan, whatever it may be. I've never had anything. Maybe I take that back. Maybe the Ford Expedition from 2000. Actually, I own that. 22 years ago. That may have had a rear wiper. I don't think I ever used it. So I don't think I would. I highly doubt I'll use a wiper on the Fisker Ocean, but never say never. I never thought I would. Like in the video that I posted about the Fiskerati membership program, I said at the beginning of this year, I would have never. If you would have told me that I would have started a Fisker news site and a Fisker related YouTube channel, I would have told you you're crazy, you're nuts. And go figure. We're on a Fisker YouTube channel, and I wrote 5 articles today on a Fisker news site, a site that covers Fisker. So kind of crazy. So maybe I'll use a wiper, but probably not. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at the poll here. The poll, I'm going to end the poll. So boom, we're ending the poll, and can I actually see the results of the poll? There we go. They're in the chat, it looks like, possibly. Let's see. Nope, not yet, but they're at the bottom of my chat here. Okay, so which did you, I didn't even ask the question correctly. Geez, help me. It says, which did you Fisker Ocean pre-order? It was supposed to be, which Fisker Ocean did you pre-order? And that didn't work out. But everyone got the correct response. So we have 64%, we have 31 votes, 64% of the people watching right now pre-ordered the Fisker Ocean, 32% pre-ordered the Ocean Extreme, Ultra, and Sport, and 3% haven't done anything at this time. So that's kind of where we are. That means one person on this this chat has not done anything, but there was also half the people didn't. I don't know how many people are watching still, 78. So half the people didn't even answer the poll. But hey, thank you people for watching, right?
Yeah. Hey, I saw this on somebody else, so I'm going to try this right now. Okay, everybody that's watching right now, you guys are all going to push the like button together all at once. We're going to count down. We'll go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Everybody hit the like button.
Let's see if that works. Did anyone hit the like button? Oh, thank you, Rick. Rick did. He did earlier. 18 people actually have earlier, so thanks all 18 people. And for those people who, now it's 26. Holy moly, Jim, you did it. You have some magic there.
Let's get up to 100. Let's get 100. I don't care if there's 78 people. We'll get 100.
And if now it says 33, that's crazy. So also too, now somebody took a like back. It's down to 32. 34 now.
It's probably Rosanna. She's still angry. She's still angry about my water bottle.
Oh, there you go. You got to ship it to her. Now, if you haven't also subscribed to the Fiskerati channel, please take a minute to do that. That'd be great. I'm trying to post new content every day. Sometimes it's harder to do it than others. And then Jim posts new content all the time over at OSR Garage, so follow his YouTube channel as well. If you find the video description of this, if you might be watching this on some other site, you might be on Fiskerati. If you're on Fiskerati site, if you hit the little YouTube button or whatever, you'll be taken to YouTube where you can watch it there and also partake in the chat. But there you will be able to hit the subscribe button. I don't think there's a subscribe button on the videos that are on our site, but maybe there is. I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong in the chat. So yeah, subscribe to our channels. That would be great. And then also, let's go ahead and take a look at the FAQ now that we know kind of where people stand. So let's check this out. So this was published, I want to say, I saw it yesterday, but for those that haven't seen it, so this is the regular FAQ. I check this every other day or whatnot to see if there's new information. And the new thing is this whole section here, order. And they don't really explain, what it is, but it's just a whole bunch of questions. There's, I don't know how many of them are there, maybe 15, maybe that's 10, I don't know. There's quite a bit of them. But I'm going to actually take you to the Fiskerati site here, because on the Fiskerati site, I actually highlight all of them. And the reason why I actually published this today, one, to help Fisker create awareness about this new order section. We're not affiliated with Fisker in any way. We just are, fans of Fisker. It's a hobby of mine, like I mentioned, and I write articles all the time, sometimes too much. And the fun thing is a lot of people follow the site, which is really cool. And it's a great way for me to get information to people. And a lot of people post comments on the articles. And the funny thing, a lot of the questions people ask in the comments on Fiskerati, and even the Fiskerati YouTube channel, and maybe you've seen this, Jim, on some of the Fisker-related YouTube videos that you do, a lot of the questions in here are actually posted in the comments on the Fiskerati site. People want the answers to these, and they must be calling Fisker and emailing Fisker and talking to rad givers and saying, hey, I want to know when, like the first one there, like I don't think that one's very interesting, but the first question, when will I have to start making payments if I agree to an order? And it says financial arrangements will not be due until closer to delivery. Customers will be notified in advance when their vehicle is scheduled for delivery. So let me go ahead and throw up the Fiskerati site, this article in particular, because I've actually spent the time highlighting a whole bunch of stuff for us to have a look at. So let me do that now. Let me throw this thing up for us. And here we go. So maybe I can zoom into, let's see if this works. Did that work? Yeah, maybe. Yeah. Maybe one more. There we go. There we go. Okay, so the first one there, basically, I thought, I highlighted all the things that I thought were important, not in every one of these, but in some of them. So when will I have to start making payments if I agree to an order? Due, until closer to delivery. So it's basically closer to delivery. That's all you need to know there. If I order a Fisker Ocean Sport and want to change to a different trim, will I be able to use the same order? So no, we get this question all the time. So maybe people have already read these. I have a feeling a lot of people may have read this article that are on this particular chat. I'm going to just go through a few of them. That's an interesting one. People have been asking, if I were to change trims, I'm going to sign up for a Sport now, but if I want to change trims, will I be able to do it? The answer is no, you won't be able to do it. And then if you converted your order, is your $250 still refundable? Nope, it is no longer refundable, right? This is going to be a non-refundable pre-order. Just like the people who've pre-ordered the Fisker Ocean 1, Jim, yeah. $5,000, actually I should say $5,250 on the line. If you cancel now, you're not going to get back, I think, any of that. You might get 10% back for the $250, but that $5,000, Fisker can use that money to go help pay for the transportation, the logistics. Right. But if people were to cancel now, maybe they get a portion of it back. I'm not sure. Who knows? That would have been a good question and answer for them to put in here. Maybe they'll do that. That one's not.
Hey, I got a question.
Yeah, go for it.
So what if somebody puts their $5,000 down and they put that deposit in, and then they decide that they can't do it or don't want it, and the $5,000 doesn't get refunded to them. Can I buy theirs for $5,000 less?
That's a good question. I'm going to go with the answer is probably no, but that's the unofficial answer, right? Why would they do that? They leave $5,000 on the table. That'll help keep the cost down, right? So yeah, that's a funny one. So this I thought was actually an interesting one. So people have been asking this one: does confirming an order lock in pricing for my trim selection? Once the order is confirmed, the trim level price will be secured. And then it goes on to say pricing is subject to change based on selected interior and exterior colors, as well as package and accessory customization. So there's a few things you can pull from this. As you said, Jim, we write articles, we do videos. Every little bit is interesting where we can kind of extrapolate it and try to make sense of it. So there's a few things going here. The one that I end up seeing here that I didn't highlight is, so you have pricing is subject to change based on selected interior and exterior colors. And then it goes on as well as package and accessory customizations, which means to me, and this is just me creating a rumor here, that Fisker is actually going to charge additional money for interior and interior seats, things like that. They're obviously going to charge more for the premium, the premium leather, the pleather. But they also are going to potentially charge for exterior colors. Now, we did an article about that. Yeah. And pretty certain they're going to do it. That's what Tesla did, right? For the people that are following along.
Especially any of those, if he's got any more of those matte finishes that he's going to put out, I'll guarantee that those cost extra.
Yeah, that's right. And he said they cost, in an Instagram reply, people said, how come you can't have the solar orange now? Like, we want the solar orange now. And he said, I want to say he said they weren't ready yet, but he said they cost millions of dollars. I think he said $2 million, but I think he said millions of dollars in time in order to make. So they're coming out in 2023. I think a lot of people that have the Ocean One would love to have some of those 2023 colors, but those aren't going to be until we probably get to the Extreme, which will be, I don't know, was that June-ish timeframe? So I thought that was interesting. That's an interesting FAQ. Not only, your price is locked in. So once they confirm it, once they confirm it. Now, when we logged in earlier this week to pre-order our second Fisker Ocean, we pre-ordered a Fisker Ocean Sport to try to take advantage of that EV tax credit, that $7,500, which we may or may not get. We ended up choosing the cheapest entry-level Fisker Ocean, which is totally fine by me. And we had to do that on our desktop browser. It also worked actually on our mobile browser, but not the mobile Fisker Flexi app. So we did that, and in doing so, you ended up having an order button. You had this blue order button that ended up appearing under your reservations. And I don't know if you saw that or not, Jim, but there's an order button there. You actually might have one because you have a Fisker Ocean reservation. If you were to log into your account, you should have a blue order button if you're using a mobile browser or a desktop browser. And when we clicked that, we ended up, we were taken to a order confirmation page. Or not a confirmation page, an order form. And that order form actually allowed us to choose our trim that we were interested in, the Extreme, the Ultra, or the Sport. We also had to read a whole bunch of terms and conditions, and then we had to click a box that said, hey, we read the terms and conditions. The interesting thing, the reason why I'm bringing this up is because once we were done with pre-ordering our Fisker Ocean Sport, we actually were not seeing the confirmation that we actually did it. We still see this blue order button. So Fisker's site isn't programmatically set up to say, hey, this person just filled out this form over at Salesforce. So it looked like it linked off to Fisker's Salesforce instance, which is the same type of a service they use, basically Salesforce everything from sending out emails, it looks like, to collecting data on forms. And maybe that Salesforce instance maybe it was like a marketing form or who knows what they use, but it was over at Salesforce. Maybe their website can't talk to the instance that they have over at Salesforce. So maybe in the future, maybe they'll end up getting all this information in a database, and then maybe they'll go from blue order button to confirmed, because I want that price locked in at $37,499. But I won't get that locked in until it says confirmed on the website. So that's what this FAQ means here to me. The next one, we're going to skip a few. The next one here, this was actually kind of interesting. Will converting to an order change my place in the order queue? Placement in the queue will be determined by multiple factors, including but not limited to trim selection, delivery location, and when your deposit was confirmed.
Yeah.
So there's been a few people on YouTube, Jim, that saw the video I did about me reserving the Fisker Ocean. I just reserved the second Fisker Ocean, I don't know, was it on Sunday? A Sunday night, right before your show, right after your show, during your show, sometime during that EV Weekly show.
Yeah.
Jim does an EV Weekly show on Sunday nights. And right before that show, or maybe right at the beginning of the show, I reserved the second Fisker Ocean. And what they're saying here is, if your placement in the queue is determined by, one, your trim selection. Okay, I did a Sport. My delivery location. Okay, I'm here in California. And 3, when my deposit was confirmed. So I don't know if they've confirmed my deposit, other than I got an email that said, "Hey, congratulations, you just purchased a Fisker Ocean." So I don't know if that's considered a confirmation, but anyhow, I thought that was interesting. When they confirm your deposit and in those other items, that's what tells you kind of where you are in the queue.
Yeah.
So we kind of wondered that with the Fisker Ocean 1, kind of how all that played out. So that's that. Couple more here. A couple more. If I commit to an order, will I qualify for the tax credit? So I highlighted the bit that I thought was most interesting. The terms for qualifying are set forth by the federal government. An order is not a guarantee of tax credit qualification. And as Fisker has said in all their email communication, contact your tax professional if you are unsure. And we all kind of know, at least I hope we all know, that we might not get the $7,500, but we might get the $7,500. It's kind of up in the air right now. We got to wait and see what the final legislation is and how the IRS or the Secretary of, I think, the Treasury or something like that interprets that legislation. So the next one, we got 2 more here. What is the purpose of switching to a deposit? Well, this one, by updating your reservation to a deposit, you are securing your desired trim and the keywords here and establishing an order agreement. So that's what's required for up here, the $7,500 tax credit. You have to have establish an order agreement with the company who is selling the electrical vehicle. So maybe other companies, I don't know if Ford's doing that. Do you know if Ford's doing that, or other companies you follow, Jim? Has anyone else done this yet? Has Rivian done this for anybody?
I just saw today that Rivian has also done this now. Okay. And somebody made a comment about it and was talking about it. And the very first comment was, Fisker did that last week or something like that. They were like, Fisker's already done that. Wow. Basically saying, yeah, Rivian saw what Fisker did and was like, oh, yeah, let's do that too. So, but as for major manufacturers, I have not heard any of them doing that. I think mostly because most of them are American companies and do build their cars here. So it's probably not as big of an issue. But, there's going to be some other manufacturers that still ship their cars in.
Gotcha. So. Now, what happens about with, say, like Ford? So you said, I think in the video yesterday, they're going to open up their order bank again for the Lightning. Is it this week?
Yes. It'll be Thursday, so tomorrow.
So if people were to go to that order bank, are they pre-ordering? They are pre-ordering, or they're reserving?
They can't order at all. They can't do anything.
Oh, they can't order. Oh, wow.
No, it's the reservations. There's over 200,000 reservations for the Ford Lightning.
So that order bank tomorrow that opens, it's just going to be reservations.
Just for reservation holders. And
Got it.
It's actually going to be in waves again, just like they did at the beginning of the year. So the first wave will be all the people who initially were invited to order earlier in the year, but chose to wait and extend their reservation because they weren't able to get the Pro or the XLT. They sold out so quick. Those people will be invited to order now first, and then the next wave, it will just trickle down through there. So first two waves we won't get invited for. The closest is probably going to be around September when it gets back to the normal reservation holders. But yeah, you can't go online and order a Lightning. You might be able to find one at a dealership or something, but you're going to pay $20,000 or $30,000 over sticker. So yeah, the Lightning's pretty well sold out through 2024.
Wow.
And they just raised prices.
And yeah, $8,500 for that car, right? Or 8,000, 7,000, something significant.
They each went up a little bit. Each trim went up a different amount.
Okay.
The Pro went up 7,000, but the two that were the two main trims that were getting ordered are the ones that actually got the $8,500 bump. That was the XLT high package with the extended battery and the Lariat with the extended battery, and both of those were actually pushed outside of the new credit price limit for the credit. So it pushed them both over $80,000. So now you can't even use that tax. Wouldn't even be able to use that tax credit on those.
Yeah. Oh, that's really interesting.
Yeah.
All right, let's go ahead and take a look at this next question here. So it has to do, it says, why am I only able to select a trim but not fully configure or design my Fisker Ocean? And this also has to do with people who are pre-ordering the Extreme, the Ultra, or the Sport. Fisker says, selecting a trim will provide reservation holders with an order agreement. An order agreement may aid Fisker customers in the procurement of the future federal incentives. So that's it's not about configuring your Ocean right now if you have a desire to pre-order an Extreme, an Ultra, or Sport. It's about trying to take advantage of that federal incentive, that being the $7,500 EV tax credit, where this tax system may change if the bill that was passed in the Senate is approved or passed in the House of Representatives later this week. And then if it is, without any changes, it'll go directly to the U.S. President's desk, President Biden, for signature. If there are changes that are made for some reason, hopefully there are, in the bill, in the Inflation Reduction Act, it would then get kicked back to the Senate for another vote. And then if it passes there, then I believe it goes directly to the President's desk. So that's kind of how it works. That's why you're not configuring your Fisker Ocean. You're fully configuring it now. You'll get to do that at a later time. Yeah. Now, the next questions here. What if your delivery timelines do not work with my schedule? Now, I've heard a couple people ask this, and basically Fisker's going to be, accommodative. They're going to be reasonable as far as working with you to find a delivery timing that works for both you and them. After placing my order, how long until I take delivery? And Fisker basically says you'll receive an estimated delivery window. And then lastly, for the people who don't pre-order their Fisker Ocean Extreme, Ultra, or Sport for here in the United States, when will you be able to do so? You'll be able to do so in November, the day after production. So Extreme orders will be able to be placed on November 18th, followed by Ultra and Sport in Q1 of 2023. So there's going to be a good period of time between when people can pre-order the Extreme to the Ultra and the Sport trims. And that's basically the same for European countries as well as, I believe, other countries around the world as well. based on that FAQ. Last one here. Let's see here. Will Fisker Ocean qualify for future tax incentives in Europe? We are unable to predict future government policies. And then the last one, do we want to read the last one? Probably not, but we'll go ahead and read it for the sake of reading it. For reservation holders in countries that place their orders later, will our vehicle delivery be delayed? And Fisker says, vehicle deliveries will be based upon confirmed orders and market rollout timing. So there you have it. Those were the FAQ that were added yesterday to the Fisker site. I linked to the FAQ. The odd thing, if somebody's working from Fisker that's watching our stream, you need to put anchor tags on all your pages on the FAQ. So when people are linking to your FAQ, we can link to a specific page like order. Unfortunately, I tried to do a if anyone knows what anchor tags are, there's none on the page. So I have to link to the main FAQ, then you have to click on the order button. But it would be nice to put anchor tags not only on each of the sections like Fisker Ocean 1, order, blah, 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 all the different ones, and then have an anchor tag for each FAQ so that if I'm writing an article, I can say, oh, go check out the FAQ in this particular one, and I can link to it and it takes people directly there. Unfortunately, it's not that easy, but you can go check that out if you're at all interested. Okay, the last thing we're looking at tonight, Jim, the ESG report. Has anybody had a look at that in the comments? Have you seen that, Jim? The ESG report?
No, I have not.
All right, so this is going to be kind of fun. Let me share my screen again. I first have to pull it up. I have the PDF, but the PDF isn't as cool as the actual web page. If I can actually find the web page, here we go. And let me share my screen. I have loved this web page. It looks really, really cool, and it's very interactive, which is always fun. So here is the impact report, the ESG impact report. For those seeing it for the very first time, there you go. So this is what Fisker said they were going to deliver in August after the earnings call. They did it. There it is. You can actually download a copy of it from that particular webpage. We have a link to it on the Fiskerati site, so you can see it there if you can't find it. But there's a big download button right there, and it actually opens up a PDF, which isn't as cool as this particular page, but they've got some. It says Environmental Impact Report 2021. So they've done this for 2021. Yes, we're in 2022, so that means in 2023 we'll get 2022's Environmental Impact Report, their ESG report for this calendar year. So they actually called it too. I mean, before I go on, it's called Driven by Impact. They wanted to inspire other companies in addition to their supply chain. So it says, Henrik Fisker's commitment to beauty, innovation, and clean mobility led him to build Fisker Inc. into a company disrupting the automotive industry through beautiful craftsmanship and genius engineering, innovation, affordability, and sustainability. So it actually walks you through, which is actually kind of fun, the founding of the company and how they included a focus of carbon neutrality in their founding announcement. So it kind of takes you through, and as you can see, I love just how the animations go. This little line is getting bigger as we scroll down, kind of fun. 2020, Fisker commits to non-financial ESG reporting before going public. And then we kind of roll. We have some photos of their headquarters in Manhattan Beach. And then there's the Culver City. So I didn't really know this actually, and maybe people know this on the live stream. So we all might learn something here. I learned this, I don't know, maybe was it last week? That particular shot right there is the Fisker building in Culver City. This is where they design. It's the design building. This is where they shape the Fisker Ocean, the Pear, whatever they're doing. This is where the prototypes are made. This is where all the design happens. So it's actually kind of interesting. They have headquarters where maybe the engineers are, as we've seen photos and videos of engineers on LinkedIn or pre-ordering their Fisker Ocean 1. A lot of those people are actually over at the headquarters. That would be this main building in Manhattan Beach. and then we have the Culver City building. So the company has 3 locations here in California. The other one is up in the Bay Area in San Francisco. In 2021, Fisker announces an aspirational goal to create a 100% climate neutral vehicle by 2027. So you can click here, you can read all about it. That is, I'll let you guys do that on your own time. It's actually, each one of these has different links to click. It's quite interactive, but you can have a check there. Also in 2027, I mentioned in the article today, in 2027, Jim, they're going to end up having this goal. The goal is today, but they want to try to reach the goal. And the goal is to build or manufacture 1 million electric vehicles by the end of 2027. So that's quite a big aspirational goal, just like the carbon neutrality of their vehicles, or a 100% climate neutral vehicle. 2 lofty goals for 2027 to kind of push the team.
For 1 million, to reach 1 million, I mean, what, you're looking at about 250,000 a year for the next 4 years?
They're going to have to add that many each year. So 1 year they're going to have to do 250, then 500,000, then 750, then 1 million.
Or they want a total of 1 million, or they're by that point, or they're wanting to produce 1 million in a year.
Well, I interpret it, and people can correct me if I'm wrong, and I could certainly be wrong. I interpret it as they want to produce 1 million vehicles per year by the year 2027. I can go double check that. It'll take me forever to double check it while we're on this live stream, but maybe somebody knows the answer to that and can post it in the chat right now. But that is, 2 aspirational goals. Pretty cool. We keep scrolling down here. There's just so much information. They talk about launching all of their merchandise that's sustainable, just like the water bottle you have that people are trying to get here. I think it's Rosanna wants your water bottle. So the Fisker edition, the eco-friendly merchandise, that's pretty neat. And then Fisker also signs the United Nations Global Compact as a participant. And then we get to 2022, Fisker completes an auction of NFTs through energy-efficient blockchain partner Solana. So it just talks about all the ESG-related things that the company's doing to make sure they're looking out for the environment, making sure their suppliers are looking out for the environment. They're not partnering with anybody who doesn't share the same mindset as them. And I think that's actually kind of interesting. That's one of the reasons why I actually purchased the Fisker Ocean, is that what this company's doing is a lot bigger than any of us. It's bigger than what I'll probably ever be able to do in my life. The impact that they're going to make, and I want to come along for the ride, which was one of the reasons why I started this site as a hobby. I thought, well, this is actually pretty cool. I want to cover this. I want to follow this. I want to invest in this, and that's what I'm doing. But yeah, this is actually great that they ended up releasing this, and I haven't gone through it completely yet. I've poked around on this website. The actual document itself isn't that big. It's 32 pages long. So I'll probably read that over the weekend and see what I can find, what's interesting. It says 83% of materials are sourced within 1,000 mile radius. 50% of the suppliers prioritize EV and non-fossil fuel transport. 67% using recyclable content and biodegradable packaging. It's just awesome to see all this stuff. It actually, they're walking the walk. They're not just talking the talk. So it's cool to actually see this on the screen in the report. It's official. Fisker's building the most, I would say the most sustainable vehicle on planet Earth. That's actually kind of cool. So I'm happy to be a future Fisker Ocean owner. So yeah, there you go. There you have it. That's the ESG report. I won't bore everyone even more about that, but let's get back to chatting, Jim. Do we have any questions or anything? Have you seen anything? Any action? Oh, here we go. Matthew Chilenescu. So it just covered up. Actually, it looks like the goal is to produce 1 million per year by, you said 2020. My guess is 2027. 2027. So yeah, I think that is the goal. It's actually a pretty big, hairy, audacious goal.
They're going to have to get a manufacturing facility in the U.S. because
that's what they have for the Ocean, but they do have the Pair coming up.
But they're gonna need they're gonna need one that's just producing the Ocean because to be able to hit those numbers. Because being in a plant that's producing other vehicles at the same time, you're just not going to be able to do that. I mean, I don't see how you'd be able to get to hit those numbers.
Yeah, so they say that the Fisker Ocean over at Magna in Graz, Austria, they're going to try to do 40,000, 45,000 units in 2023. Fisker says that they've had conversations with Magna where they can expand the production capability or whatnot to I want to say 10,000 Fisker Oceans a month. So that would put them at 120,000 over in Graz, Austria. But I think that required, if I recall, some additional. They need to build some additional capacity. They need to expand the area in which the production happens at that facility. So you're right. They're going to have to partner with companies like Magna, like Foxconn, like whoever else does contract manufacturing for vehicles. I don't know too many, but I'm sure they're out there, and I'm sure Fisker's talking to them.
What I see they need to do, and I don't know if this is even if something like this is available right now, but if you look back, and I think it was like 2012, Tesla bought the California manufacturing facility that Chevy and Toyota were using.
Is that the one in Fremont?
Yes. They bought that because, I mean, I don't know if it was what the reason Chevy wasn't putting out very many vehicles from there, or they just decided to close it and weren't using it. But Tesla bought it for like $65 million, and it's worth like 5 times that now. But they can put out almost 800,000 Teslas out of that facility if they want to. I think the last number, they were at 650,000, and they were talking that they were going to be able to push it. They could push it to 800,000, which was more than crazy. Which was more than Chevy and Toyota was producing out of that. So, that is something that they need to look for is a manufacturing facility that's not being used, like Foxconn did with buying the Lordstown facility to produce the Lordstown and the Pair now. So that's something that he needs. I think that they really need to be watching for is the right place, and that right place might be in Canada. And there could be something open up in Mexico. I mean, Chevy and Ford are both producing vehicles out of Mexico, so there may be more facilities down there or areas where they could get a facility at a cheaper price than here.
That makes sense. And with this legislation, this EV tax credit legislation, and the inflation, totally having a brain fart here. The Inflation Reduction Act, that particular legislation may force Magna, like cattle, to come to the United States or North America. In the case of Magna, to build maybe another factory. Whether it's CO2 neutral factory or not, who knows? They probably can offset it with credits, but that factory needs to be here in order for their customer, the Fiskers of the world, the BMWs, the Mercedes, Toyota, to qualify for the tax credit. So maybe they'll build a factory in Canada, since they are a Canadian company. That would be really good for Canadian workers, and it would be good for Americans and Mexicans, people who may purchase the Fisker Ocean in North America, who can take advantage of their country's tax legislation if vehicles are made within NAFTA. So we have the North American Free Trade Agreement here in the United States, and goods can flow between the countries without being taxed, and all that's good stuff. So, who cares where the factory is made as long as it's in North America, and Americans can qualify for the tax credit. So that'll be interesting to see what Magna does there.
Yeah, I got a few questions over here. I'm just going to throw my thoughts on
Yeah. I
these
asked.
three
I
real
asked. I
quick.
said, "Hey, are there any questions out there?"
Cole asked about our thoughts on Canoe. He said he's had a reservation for a while. Canoe, last I heard is that they were, maybe Sean, maybe you were talking about this, was that they are partnering with Walmart or something like
Correct.
that.
It is. They're partnering with Walmart, or Walmart purchased did an order, just like that. Was it Autonomy did a $1.2 billion order yesterday for I don't know, 22,000, say 500. It's probably like 700. I don't know, electric vehicles with 17 manufacturers. Well, Walmart ended up purchasing, I don't know the number, of cargo vans from Canoe. I actually have a reservation for a Canoe. The Canoe is the Canoe actually is a van, and we talked about on Sunday about the Canoe van, and we asked people, hey, did you want to have more sedans built, trucks built, SUVs built, or minivans built in an electric vehicle model? And lo and behold, most people wanted more SUVs, but minivans or vans was actually up on the list. I think that was the second most popular, if I recall, from that poll that I threw up on that EV Weekly. So yeah, they offer a van. I don't know much about it. I know they had some difficulty. Their stock symbol, I think, is CNOO, or no, it's EV. It's not that. It's Go EV. I think it's Go EV. And they, I don't know. I don't know what the stock is trading at now. I'm going to guess it's under $5, somewhere around there. But I've owned the stock. I've traded it way back in the SPAC days when I was trading those in 2020. So I know a little bit about it, but I don't follow it nowhere nearly as what I follow Fisker.
Thomas asked, have you seen any production scale-up estimate or timeline? And I haven't seen anything. I know that I just heard them talk about, they want to ramp up to this number, but I haven't seen like any plan of, this many, these few months, and then ramping up to something else. But
got it.
And then S Sling says, how many cars do you think Magna can build on a daily basis? Daily basis, I would guess. I would say that they're probably going to be looking at a few hundred to start. It's possible they might be able to push to maybe 500 a day through the first part of the year until they actually are able to ramp up. I believe like Ford, with their production, the way they've been running them for a long time, I think they produce about 1,500 a day. They can, when everything, without any constraints, with all the chips and everything being there, just normal, they can run up to 1,500 a day. I don't see Magna won't be able to breach that number, but I would expect somewhere in that 500 range, somewhere in there. So that would actually put it at about 1,500 a month, right? Somewhere in that range. Not 1,500 a month. I don't know what I was just saying. What is 500?
Well, they wanted to do about 4,000, 5,000 a month as they get to the back half of 2023. They're going to probably have to get up to, I think, 7,500 is what they said they were going to try to do. And they're going to try to hit 40 to 45,000 vehicles produced by the end of 2023, which means they're going to ramp slowly. And then in the back half of 2023, it's going to be kind of full bore. And that sounds pretty realistic. They're going to have some growing pains, and eventually they'll figure it out, and we'll see a lot more.
Trying to talk and do math in my head at the same time, and it was not working out real well. But I guess if it's like 3,000, say there's 3,000 a month, then you're looking at, what is that, 10 a day?
Yeah, that's right.
So yeah, my numbers were way off. I would not expect them to be producing 500. So that was a little far out there, I guess. So probably 50 to 100 when they are running efficiently as they possibly can at the moment.
Yeah. So we got something pretty exciting, Jim. Something exciting just happened. I don't know if you know. I didn't know until I just went to YouTube. So on YouTube, we have, I believe, and I could be wrong, but we have our very first Fiskerati member. So somebody actually, Patrick Madonkin, I probably just butchered your last name, Patrick, but we'll get to know each other over time as you just purchased the Extreme membership. So we have 4 different memberships.
Awesome.
We have the Sport, the Ultra, the Extreme, and you guessed it, what is it? The One.
The
so
2.
Thank you. Yeah, the 2, the 1, the 2. So we got our first membership purchased. Thank you, Patrick. There's your shout out. Reach out to us. There's instructions, I believe, to reach out to us to get you set up in the members only forum on the Fiskerati forum. So thank you very much for your support. And for those that are on YouTube and in the chat, he's got now a special badge that you can see next to his name. It's actually a gold medal that has an F for Fiskerati and for Fisker. So welcome to the Extreme membership, Patrick. Thank you very much for your support. And you'll notice I ended up doing, maybe people can see him in the chat. We can't see him on our live stream service, but I gave the rock on symbol. There's a whole bunch of fun ones. And as we get more people subscribing, here we go. We'll throw the cowbell in there so people can see it. We'll do the wave and we'll do the thumbs up. So those are all of the ones, and we can add more as we get more members. That's kind of how YouTube does it. For those people that are interested, the 72 people that are watching, thank you for sticking around. Here is a link to join the Fiskerati membership program. And if you don't join it too, no worries. We're going to keep doing the same thing that we're doing. But that helps us fund this particular hobby that we have. And then it also, people were asking, they're saying, man, your video sucks. It's like, it's so blurry and pixelated. And I was like, well, it looks fine when I'm talking to Jim, but when we stream it, it looks a little pixelated. And that's because we're on the cheapest plan for the stream, which is like $500 $500 a year. So I don't know, it's quite expensive.
Yeah, we're like half definition.
That's right. We're like 720p instead of 1080p. So as we get more people signed up, we can do cool things instead of running ads on the site. That's the plan. Hopefully we'll see what happens, but hopefully there's a membership plan for everybody, something that everyone can afford. It's the $299 is the cheapest one, gets you the badge. And then it actually too, it stands out. So this is the first time I've ever seen this, but Patrick's name's in green. It has a badge next to it, and when he joined, it made some big, huge green thing on YouTube and said, welcome to the Extreme, or welcome to Extreme. So it was actually cool. It makes his comments stand out, which makes it easier for Jim and myself to actually see. So YouTube's done that for a reason, I'm sure of it. But very cool. That's pretty fun. I don't know what else. We have any other questions? I think there was a couple more we had, didn't we?
My video is very clear.
Yeah, yours is really clear. I wonder why. I'm on a MacBook Pro.
Oh, I'm on an HP Pavilion, a 4-year-old computer.
Wow, crazy. Let's see here. Any other questions on here? Any questions before we sign off? I think we did hopefully we did a good job tonight. We have 72 people joining us still. It was fun chatting with everybody, going through the stuff.
Any delivery numbers before December 31st? Are there any plans to deliver this year?
Well, that analyst that I talked about earlier, that Adam Jonas from Morgan Stanley, he expects 200 units to be delivered in 2022. He doesn't say where he believes they'll be delivered. If I had to guess, I'm going to say they're going to be delivered, probably most of them in Europe. But you never know, just because they can just drive. There's probably people in Austria, in neighboring countries in Europe, to where the plant is in Graz, Austria, where they can just drive them or ship them very closely, very quickly to account for revenue. But that kind of goes ahead or goes against what Gita Gupta Fisker mentioned on the earnings call. She said that we shouldn't expect a lot of, maybe 200 units isn't a lot, but she said we shouldn't expect a lot of revenue to be accounted for the 5,000 Fisker Ocean ones in 2022. That's going to be likely 2023. So who knows? Right now it's all guessing. The only people that know are probably Henrik and the C-level management at the company. Usually at a startup, only people that if you need to know, because they say lose slips sink ships. So you gotta keep things on the DL and only bring people into the fold that need to know.
As I say, Oscar. He
all right,
says,
Cole, good night.
Oscar says he's disappointed to find out the Sport won't have Hollywood or California mode. Now that's not exactly true yet. We don't know what kind of over-the-air options that you will be able to add to your car, because that is going to be a thing.
That's true.
So,
we did an article about possible feature upgrades, and in that article, so if you search the article, Oscar, type in like feature upgrades or something like that, who knows until you find the article.
I've got a video out on it too.
Oh, there you go. But yeah, there's a whole bunch that could potentially be for the Sport or the Ultra, from wheels to paint to interior, audio, maybe not audio, but yeah, the steering wheel could certainly be one. California mode. Who knows? But Fisker said that they're going to try to pack the vehicles with all the same hardware, and then it's going to be, flip a switch on and off. And they're doing that primarily for the people who are going to be leasing the vehicle, so they can make incremental revenue. So, we'll see. That's the exciting thing about all this is we don't know. We can guess, we can speculate, and we will find out. That'll be fun.
Yeah, and that's the way I understood it, was that the cars were going to come equipped with all of the exact same things, because it's easier to build that way. They're not having to leave this off and put this in instead, and this way they're just putting everything in there. And then if at some point, say you get your car, but you couldn't really afford to upgrade now, and you save up some money, or you get a tax return or something like that, and you decide, hey, I want to spend that extra how many ever dollars, say $1,500 or $2,000, and I want that full driver assist package, that premium Fisker Intelligent Pilot, and then you can just purchase it and they will download it to your car, and you have all the same features as the Extreme. It's that's the benefit of an electric car, and having software running everything, that it can just be changed and upgraded, and you don't have to get a new car every 2 or 3 years because they're changing something that you can't get on yours, or so now they can just send that to your car as they upgrade other cars. It's happened already with the Lightning. The Lightning is getting 10 more miles of range, and by doing one simple thing, and now this was not necessarily an over-the-air update, but what they decided to do was, with that lower range battery, was to put heated seats in with all the standard range batteries. Well, doing that, putting the heated seats in, they could reduce the load of the HVAC system on the battery. So now your body will be warmer in your seat, and they don't have to push as much power through the heat to push it out, so then you get more range. So it's little things like that, and that is probably something, the HVAC system part of it, they probably can change with software. Now you're not going to get heated seats if you didn't already have them, but that's a way to add stuff, and they can add that stuff all the time. And you've seen Tesla say, hey, you want 30 more horsepower, give us $2,000 and we'll give you 30 more horsepower. So these cars are not going to come out and be like, here, this is the horsepower and you can't get any more. You're at the top, you're at the peak. They don't do that. They always leave room for adjustments, and because they want to be able to make things more efficient and make things more drivable and more enjoyable for people that choose that. So
that's nice to know. Hey, we just got Nikki Yazzie. I'm bad with names, so apologize if I butchered your name, but we have Nikki Yazzie. She just joined as an Ultra member. in
Same
the
trim she
Fiskerati.
ordered.
Oh, there you go. There you go. Is that what it says?
Yep, so
Nikki
the same trim
Yazzie.
she ordered.
Very cool. Yeah, I'm having a hard time following. I always have a hard time following the comments. There's just so many. But yeah, that's pretty cool. Any other questions there?
Will Fisker explore new battery technology?
They said they are actually for the Ronin.
Yeah.
They wanted to get like 600 miles plus possibly on that vehicle. So they talked a little briefly about that. I can't remember off the top of my head. But they definitely are trying to invent or reimagine battery technology specifically for that vehicle. But that vehicle is going to be starting at $200,000.
Yeah.
So it's definitely out of my budget.
Yep.
But that's pretty interesting.
We had Brave, Fit, and Strong pointed something out, and I remembered seeing this, but I just completely forgot about it until they talked about it. There was a Facebook story, and Fisker was sitting in the car, and he had a pull-out tray, and they said it was to set a laptop, for the passenger to set a laptop on.
Interesting.
Yeah, I saw that too, and so it was pretty neat.
Yeah.
It was like just above the glove box.
Huh. I haven't seen that. I did see some spam that just came through, which I tried to delete. Oh, yeah. It's crazy.
That happened to me the other day too.
Yeah, first time we've seen that. Man.
And TT said he's curious about the interior lighting. I know that there is ambient lighting. I think it may be in the upper trims. I'm not sure. I remember seeing some statement about premium lighting or something like that. Maybe
I believe that premium lighting comes on the Extreme and the One.
Okay.
There is something with ambient lighting on the Ultra, I believe, but for sure the Extreme and the One. Somebody wrote in about that and had a question, and then somebody also posted that on the forum as well. And that's always a great place, everybody, for those that are watching. If you haven't signed up for the Fiskerati forums or your favorite forum of choice, the forums are great for asking questions when we don't do these live chats, because there's other people that are like-minded. They're EV enthusiasts just like you. Chances are they've reserved a Fisker Ocean or pre-ordered a Fisker Ocean 1, and everyone's trying to help everyone out. Which is kind of cool. It's a very supportive community. So if you ever have questions, go to the Fiskerati forums. You can Google, Fisker forums, Fiskerati forums, Ocean forums, whatever you want. There's a forum out there for you. I'm more or less active on the Fiskerati forums, and then on a couple different other sites I go on for fun as well. But great place to ask questions, get answers. And then also you can always reach out to, Fisker themselves. They have a lot of answers, as you know, but they're keep things close to their vest. And some, believe it or not, there's some people in the forums that are actually much more knowledgeable than the people that give the answers at Fisker, which is crazy. So the Fiskerati forums at the very, very top, there's a bookmarked or a favorited or pinned, I should say, a pinned topic that is it's like the ultimate Q&A. So it must have I don't know, 65, 70, maybe 100 questions now that people have asked. And a lot of them now have answers, and the answers are sourced by the community, by talking to Fisker, by going to Instagram and communicating with Fisker, copying and pasting what Fisker says. And there's one person in particular that's spearheading this. So kudos to you for doing it. It's great. We wrote an article about it to help promote it because I think it's great. We said, hey, Fisker, help us get answers to this, and they're doing it. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Cool. So I think that's about all the time we have. I think my family is chomping at the bit for me to be done. I'll go ahead and if you guys have any questions, you can shoot us an email. For the people that joined the Fiskerati membership program, thank you very much. And we'll be in touch soon. I think there's some instructions for you to look at too, depending on your tier level. So you could be a guest host potentially, or you can write articles. There's instructions on how to do all that. Go over to the Fiskerati forums for the members only forum, and we can chat in there as well. There's going to be a lot of information there once I have you set up. So thank you everybody for joining. Thank you, Jim, for joining me as you do on all these Wednesdays. I have a blast. I hope you do as well.
Oh yeah.
And thank you, everybody. We'll see. We're going to actually put some. We got a cool closing for tonight. So the intro that we opened with, we're gonna roll out with the same video. Here we go. All right, everybody. Till next time. We'll talk to you soon. Take care.